YouTube, Comic Free for Life here, and today I am finally making a deck profile of my Dark Worlds that I've been playing for the longest time now. And I'm really liking this deck for this format because it can live up to Dragons and Prophecy, and those are really the two main decks, especially my locals. My locals has a lot of top players because we have Frankensteins nearby, so they have all the cards they need. So I have to deal with playing Chaos Dragons. Not Chaos Dragons, Elemental Dragons. So I have to have a deck that can kind of compete with them, and I've made this deck to kind of work like that. So here we go, on to the monsters. 3 Grapha. The monster, the best card of the deck. If it didn't have this, it wouldn't be the deck. Summon him by returning a Dark World. You all know what it does. 3 Snow. Searches out any Dark World card, including himself, which is very strange for most search cards. So that guy's really awesome. You search depending on what the play is, what you need in your hand. 3 Brow. When it's discarded by a card effect, you draw a card. Pretty self-explanatory. Summon it. Gets around bottomless. Pretty good. 2 Silva. This is my personal preference because with spellbooks, if you have Gates of the Dark World on the field, then this is over 25 and you contribute it for Eradicator. But some people like running Beige because you can summon it normally without having to use a discard outlet to normal summon it because it's like 5 stars. But then you can't go into plays like Tiras if you happen to draw both. So as preference, I might have done like 1 and 1, but it's up to the person playing it, so I decided to use 2 Silva. And the last 2 monsters in the deck are Tour Guide. This card is amazing. Summon it, special a Brow, return the Brow for Grapha, so it's a free +1, and you still have that Tour Guide on the field. Sometimes they'll Veiler it. If you have like Compulse set, you can summon it, special Brow, and then Compulse this. Like Compulse it when they Veiler it, so you still get the effect because it's off the field, and you have it for next turn to do another one, which is pretty good. So that's it for the monsters. Then on to the spells, lots of spells. We have 3 Gates of the Dark World. This is a really good card. If you draw it, you're pretty set. Most of you know what it does. All fiends get 300 attack, and you can remove, or attack and defense, and you can remove a fiend monster to discard a fiend type monster and draw a card. So that's pretty good. And you can discard anything you want and draw a card. It's pretty good. So then we have 3 Dark World dealings. Main card, been around forever. Both players draw a card and discard a card. So you can discard your Dark World card. You can search it with Snow. It has Dark World in the name, pretty good. Now this is the amazing card that was discovered for this deck. Dragged into the grave. You activate it. Both players reveal their hands, and you each look at your hand and pick 1 card to discard. And you activate it when you only have Dark World monsters. So you get to see your opponent's hand and get rid of a card that you want to get rid of, and they have to pick a card that you will get effective, so it's a really amazing card. And then we have 1 card destruction. This is really good also. You have a bunch of Dark Worlds in your hand, you plus like super hard, a lot of plus. I still run it even though there's dragons because it's not a big deal. I still get better stuff off of it than dragons would. It's also really funny to see dragons activate card destruction when you are playing Dark Worlds, and they begin to cry when you get their effects. Your Dark World's effects plus their extra effects. Then for the staples, 1 Reborn. Reborn's awesome. You can reborn a Dark World, then return it for Grapha, so it's like a +1. Dark Hole, get rid of big fields that you need to get rid of. Heavy Storm, because sometimes there's spells and traps, like Deep Prison, Bottomless, you don't want to get your Grapha removed. 1 MST, main, because you really don't need back row. Hate, because you have Grapha, and most decks don't really run too much back row they need to be worried about nowadays. And we have 1 Book of Moon. A lot of people don't run it anymore. I always run 1 Book of Moon. It has a lot of plays. You can do a lot of things with it. So still run 1 Book of Moon. And last spell card, 1 Foolish Burial. If you draw this first turn in a Dark World, you pretty much have a Grapha, which is really good. So there's always that discard outlet. If you never draw a Grapha, then you have Foolish Burial it. So that's all of the spells. Then on to the traps. We have the best card, the MVP, is Eradicator, Epidemic Virus. Attributed Dark World, or any dark monster with 2500 attack or more. and you to call spell or traps, and your opponent has to reveal all of their spells and traps in their hand and get rid of them, and for the next 3 turns, 2 or 3 turns. So this is really good. Like if they activate something like Deprison or Compulse on your Grapha, you can chain this, and it won't get compulsed or deprisoned. So it's also really good for chainable. Then I run a lot of traps in this build. I like this way. I don't run Upstart Goblin or Reckless Greed. So I have more room for traps because with dragons and stuff, they can like kill you in 1 turn. So it's really good to have all those traps. It's really annoying for them. So we run 2 Torrential. They'll summon like 2 dragons and go into like Big Eye or Dracosac, and you can Torrential it depending on whether you need to or not. There's 2 Mirror Force. Sometimes they'll Big Eye your Grapha, and then they'll attack and you'll Mirror Force, and I've won several games like that. They think they're home free, but they're not. Still a really good card. People don't expect it. MVP of the deck, 3 Compulse. Gets rid of Big Eye, Dracosac, everything. All the Exceeds. Really good against everything. And then the final 2 cards of the deck are 2 Skill Drains because like they can't Dracosac. They can't get their tokens. Anything that has effects is really good. So that's the deck, 40 cards. And on to the extra deck. We have 1 Pain token because it's nice, I just have it there. We have the rank 3s, 1 Zen mains, Stall Out. This deck has an amazing matchup versus Mermails. I think I only ever lost to 1 Mermail with this deck. So if Mermails are good next format, this deck will still be good. Zen mains is really tough for them to get over. 1 Leviair, because if you go into with Tour Guide and either Brow or another Tour Guide, you can special summon a Dark World removed with Gate or something else, and then you can return it for Grapha, so it's like a +1, and you have a Leviair. So that's really good. 1 Leviathan, just a regular rank 3. 1 Acid Golem, sometimes you need to get over things, and with Skill Drain, it just stays 3000, no effect, so that's really good. Tempo, sometimes you can still use this. Maybe they summon a Zen main, sometimes they go into Dracosac for Big Eye, and then you can get it pumped up really high. So this is still viable. I have some rank 4s in here just in case, because you don't need too many Exceeds in this deck. So 1 Maestroke, just in case, 1 Utopia, 1 Gem Knight, 1 Shock Ruler, 1 Steel Storm Roach. These are just like fillers. If I get more rank 8s that would be useful, I'll run them. 1 Tiras, just in case you get both Sylvas out. And then the big rank 8s that are always so helpful. First we have Helopolis. It's 3000 attack. You can tribute a monster from your hand or on your field to destroy that many cards your opponent controls. It's really good. Gets over Gaios, stuff like that. And then the other awesome card that not many people know about is Gimmick Puppet Giant Grinder. It takes 2 level 8s, 1500 attack, 25 defense. Up to twice per turn, you can detach 1 XYZ material and target 1 monster on the field and destroy it. And if that was an XYZ monster, your opponent takes life points equal to its attack. So if they go into a lot of Exceeds, you can just kill it and deal that much damage, and then kill another one, deal that much damage, and then you can attack. So it's really, really, really good. So that's it for the extra deck. And then onto the side deck. We run 2 MSTs. Some decks side in like Soul Drain or Removal or something like that. So if you know that deck can side that card, you side these in. 1 extra Eradicator for those spellbooks or decks that run lots of spells and traps. 2 Deck Dev. Some people side these against dragons because they have a lot of hand traps. Sided against mermails, they have a lot of smaller monsters. Anything else that has smaller monsters. 2 Dark Smogs. There's a lot of things you can remove. Maybe Insector Hornet if they're playing Insectors. There's a lot of other things. So this is a viable side deck card. And then we have 2 Mind Crush for decks that search a lot, or things that you can get out of their hand, like this is good against spellbooks. Then we have 2 Royal Decree. There's still those Chain Burn and decks with lots of back row like Heroes, so I still have 2 in there. And then all the cards I side against dragons. 2 Imperial Iron Wall. and 2 Gozen match. Every single time I play against dragons, I side out 4 cards, and I side in these. Sometimes it gets in the way of gate, so I usually side out 1 gate. But these cards do really well against dragons, keep them from removing, and keep them from summoning more than 1 attribute. So all in all, amazing deck. I love this deck. So let me know what you guys think. Do you think it's worth... I think it's good against E-Dragon and Prophecy. If you just like Dark World. If you don't like Dark World, just comment in the comment section below, like the video, favorite it, and subscribe to my channel for more awesome videos. This is Config for Life, keeping it real, signing out.